Good morning, Aaron from Forward Driving Australia. We're going to do a Bull Motor Bodies canopy review today and just talk about ute canopies in general, our experience. This canopy behind me we have had now for 6 years and it was a second-hand unit. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. I'll give you a bit of a walk around. So we are currently about 4 hours south of Sydney, camping on a private property. Hip camp the day after Australia Day. The weather's been up and down, but yeah, hopefully the rain stays away. So this particular Bull Motor Bodies canopy, as I said, we've had it for 6 years, but it was actually second-hand when we purchased it initially. I picked it up from a guy that had it on a Toyota Hilux, and it actually had a tray that came out here on the back of it. So about 400mm, and I cut that off and I moved the bumper forward. So it was off an extra cab ute. I could have legally kept it that long, but it would have been ridiculous. So yeah, pretty cheap way to get a canopy that would suit our car and work well. So we picked this up for, I think it was $3,750. And then obviously spent a fair bit of time cutting the tray off, moving the bumper, mounting it. I had to make up different spaces to get it level on our Hilux and then bolt it on. But if you've looked at the price of these Gull wing ute canopies, you'd know that's a pretty good price. So yeah, I don't know how old it is. It's probably 10 years, I'd say, if it was on the Hilux for about 4. And we have used it extensively all over Australia. So we've done lots of trips through Pilbara, Kimberley, and then our big lap of Australia. We're a year and a half into that. So tons and tons of four-wheel drive tracks, lots of corrugations, rough roads. It has been everywhere and it's performed really well. Obviously this unit we paid for ourselves. This is not a sponsored video, we're not getting paid to make it. I just wanted to share some genuine thoughts about Bull Motor Bodies and probably help those out that are looking for ute canopies, because you can spend a lot of money today trying to buy one. So yeah, Bull Motor Bodies, that's their logo. They've been around for a long time, primarily Western Australian business, and then they have moved over to Queensland as well. But they've been making canopies for many years. I would say primarily the mining and resource industry, doing service bodies and that. But they do a fair bit of work for the recreational stuff as well. So when you buy a Bull Motor Bodies canopy, they have a huge range of options that you can get with them, like most canopy manufacturers these days. So I'll open this up and show you inside. Most of the fit out in here has been done by me, but they'll do exactly the same thing. So you can get drawers, you can get shelving, you can get water tanks, the lights like this one. You can get all sorts of different bits and pieces that they will fit to your canopy, customise it however you want. And yeah, I guess set it up for how you're going to use the vehicle. So back to the service body side of things, a lot of people, trades that are using these vehicles, having a canopy that's set up well for them to be able to get their tools out, keep them dry, clean, secure, dust free. Really important. So they'll set it up however you want. I'll just put the camera down and show you the water tank that's under here. So that's a 50-litre one, right as far forward and as low as you can possibly get it. Doesn't take up any space. While we're down here, you'll notice that this vehicle does not have a tray. So it is a chassis mount option. These are the mounts here, 1, 2, 3 on either side. So you save a fair bit of weight in not having a tray. Now it does mean, of course, that you can't remove the canopy, which is fine. We've got no need for doing that. I don't actually know whether you can buy them that mount to a tray. I assume you could just buy a normal one and bolt it to the tray. But yeah, for the most part they're chassis mount. Pros and cons to both. For us, the lighter the better, and we had no need to pull it off. So these canopies are primarily made out of aluminium. There is a little bit of steel and a little bit of plastic, but it's very negligible. So the back, this is plastic, and the front as well. These are they're molded, and that's how they're put together. And the rest of it is all aluminium, with exception of, you know, random bits and pieces. You've got steel rivets. So yeah, the canopy is either welded or it's got these heavy duty, I reckon they're aircraft rivets. They are absolutely insanely strong, like really, really difficult. You basically got to cut them off. Even drilling them out, not very easy to do. So the only other steel that is on this canopy is on the bottom, this little C-channel section, and then the feet. I can't really show you. I'll stick it in there and see if it works. So C-channel looking up in there. It's not that heavy. I reckon it's only, it might be 1.5, 2 mil maybe. But the rest of it is aluminium, including the floor. So I want to make special mention of this. This is a really clever system. I would never really have known about it unless I had cut the back of our canopy off, where the tray was. So it's kind of like floorboards in the sense that it all slots together. But being the profile that it is with the C shapes, it is insanely strong and very lightweight. So lots and lots of canopies out there. Anyone can build a canopy, but where those that do well stand out above the rest is when you build a really strong quality canopy that doesn't weigh much. And that's where these guys have nailed it. You can look at the corners here. So they have, you know, nice big chunks of aluminium, all welded really well together. But they've kept it so lightweight. So this whole unit, including the water tank, when I put it on, was only about 120 kilos. They're not heavy at all. So obviously whatever you throw inside is going to add weight to that. But they are very, very lightweight from the get-go, and that's what you want, especially on a dual cab, where everyone keeps bending chassis because there's too much weight behind the rear axle. So a quick look at our setup inside. As I said, this was primarily done by me. I don't think there's too much in there that we have kept when I bought it secondhand. So right at the front down here, there's a 230 amp hour lithium battery that I had a mate help put together. We've got our electrical box up the top. That's got our DC-DC in it, fuses, the shunt, and so on and so forth. 2000 watt inverter that we run induction cooktops and charge batteries and camera batteries, yeah, that sort of stuff. Drawers, so again, I built the plywood. These are Oates drawers from Bunnings. I don't think you can buy them anymore, but they're really light. You know, not the most amazing looking, but they are fantastic, really practical for what we do. And on the other side, we've just got a huge space case. I had one originally, I got rid of it, and then I went back to it, primarily just to keep things contained. And we've got all of our heavy gear in there. So all of my tools, all of my spares, everything that's heavy is there over the front axle, over the rear axle, just to keep that weight forward. And then there's really not much else in here. It looks like it's full, but it's all pretty lightweight stuff. So compressor, hard wired, hard mounted, fire striker, little fire extinguisher thing. We've got a backup solar regulator up there. 82 litre Bushman fridge, I didn't mention that. And then just a whole heap of gear. So the kids' bikes, obviously, first aid kits, you know, grease, dive gear, all the rubbish that we carry in here for your lap of Australia. I also have on top 42 inch steady light bar. It's an ST4K from memory, and a 200 watt solar panel. So wherever we are, that's putting charge back into the batteries. A Dachi 180 awning on the back, so when we've got both gull wings up, we get basically a poor man's 270-degree awning, and it's quite lightweight and easy to use. So quality, obviously these are Aussie built, and I am really impressed with how well they're built. We have had no issues with anything cracking or breaking. It doesn't leak any water. if it's raining, the water, runs down the seals. It's got central locking that works really well. They're just very, very, very well engineered and put together, and I'd really rate them. So I'll touch on aesthetics and looks. When you see these from a distance, they're okay. They're not ugly, or maybe some people would say they are. I don't know. They're definitely not as nice as some of the custom-made canopies that you can buy these days. There's some pretty schmick ones that are coming out, aluminium, but you've got to remember that they cost a fortune, and they take a lot of time to build. So Bull motor bodies have got a pretty sweet setup where they've got jigs and everything that are ready. They can smash these out really quickly, consistently, to a high quality, and I don't think they do too many variations in sizes and so forth, so you kind of get whatever suits your vehicle, and that's it. And they've done really well. They've got a niche that fits in really well. So why would you go for Bull motor bodies? Well, for us, we weren't really looking for anyone in particular. I just wanted a Canopy, a Gull wing one. I did go and look at a couple of other options, and then when this popped up secondhand and I saw the price, it was a no-brainer. But if you're looking new, these guys have been around for a long time. They're Aussie built, they're really well made, very well engineered, they're proven in the industry. They're lightweight and they're modular, so that's really important when you guys are building a canopy. A lot of them are just a box, which is fine, but you can't attach anything on the inside very easily. So if I spin the camera around, you'll see that these guys have attachment points everywhere. So this has uni strut there, uni strut there, uni strut there, all down here, and that makes life incredibly easy. All you have to do is slide one of the uni strut nuts down there with a spring on it, and you can attach whatever you want really, really quickly. So super handy. Bull motor bodies are also really good to deal with. So I never dealt with them intentionally, but a couple of years ago backed the car into a tree and it pushed the canopy fuel filler into the cab of the car. So through insurance had to organise for the repairs to be done, and Bull motor bodies got the canopy, fixed up the vent mounts at the bottom, and the canopy had to come off anyway for the cab to be repaired so they could get access to it. But in dealing with them, I spoke to them about quotes and options and all that. They were really helpful, really good to deal with. So if you're in the market for a canopy for your ute, lots of things to look for. The whole discussion between tubs and the fiberglass, or even the metal ones that some people are putting on top these days, is for another day. But I will tell you that once you've had a Gull wing, you'll never go back to that setup. These are just so much more practical. So if you're looking for one, you want it to be as light as possible without affecting the strength. You need them to be functional, so modular, easy to use, and able to be set up for what you want them to. The height is pretty important, so you'll notice that this one sits quite a bit taller than the cab of the car. I wasn't necessarily going for that, but I'm very glad I did. I'm 6'6" and I can stand under the doors. If it was level with the car, I'd have to be a lot shorter, and that'd be a nightmare. And it also gives us a lot of extra storage space. Obviously it needs to seal well. I have seen so many canopies leak dust, and then you've got people asking about ventilation and this and that, and you shouldn't need it. If it's built well, it will seal. You won't get water dripping down on you when it rains, and that's where going with a canopy builder that's been doing it for many years, you get that level of expertise. Any fabricator that is good can build a canopy, but it usually takes a few iterations for them to work out exactly what goes wrong, how things can be improved, and then to streamline the system to make it economical for them to run a business and for customers to buy. And central locking, absolute must. I've still, there's quite a few people that have canopies without central locking. I couldn't think of anything worse. So we walk away from the car, lock it, unlock it, whatever. it would be an absolute nightmare using a key, I reckon. So yeah, these guys have a pretty simple system. 2 rods go in and out, and they lock in here, and they're really good, very, very good. Righto, so final thoughts. Bull motor bodies, absolutely awesome. Definitely impressed with the product, with their support, and then you know how well it has lasted. They're just a really, really well built product. Very functional. We got super lucky buying one secondhand. I don't know what they cost new. Going back about 3 or 4 years, I think you were looking about 12 grand to start off with. But when I was shopping around, you know, I was getting prices from different places for 4 or 5 grand, or even up to, you know, 10, 12 grand for just the tray, no canopy. You can buy some of the premium brand canopies. You know, you're looking at 40 grand for a canopy. So we paid, you know, 1/10 of that, and ended up with a product that, yeah, while it might not look as schmick, it has been flawless for us. It's been really good and no issues recommending them. So yeah, if you've got questions or whatever about canopies, let us know. 6 years we're now living out of this, and the camper behind us full time. So pretty well versed in its performance, and I'm really happy with them. I'd definitely go with a Bull Motor Bodies canopy again, if it made financial sense. Yeah, to finish, best mod we've done to the car by a country mile. We're going to talk about wagons and utes in another video, but I reckon that for us, for touring, this canopy has been by far the best thing we've done to the car. Just nice protection from the sun, from the rain, super easy to use, especially with the kitchen on the other side, and yeah, it just does exactly what we want it to without any fuss. So let us know if you've got any questions. Happy to answer them, and yeah, we'll see you in another video.